previously on the Trading Card Preservation Society.
The story is a little wonky,
Yeah.
to say the least, which, kids aren't that interesting. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking for an exciting plot, don't watch a kid for 10 years.
We are the Village Green Preservation Society. God save the lone duck.
I call this meeting of the Trading Card Preservation Society to order. In attendance tonight we have Matt F. from HeartbreakingCards.com and Dave the Cardboard Junkie from cardjunk.blogspot.com. Tonight,
Hello.
Yes, hello, Dave. I never remember to give you a chance to say something. Tonight we will
Hi.
Tonight we will talk about our long overdue absence. A whole bunch of Topps products, the Topps Tribute Recall, a Mars Attacks Kickstarter that's starting soon, the passing of Leonard Nimoy, and a whole bunch of quick hit topics, and as always, a new release calendar and a few Q&A questions. But Dave, it's been almost 2 months, I think.
Has it been 2 months? Or has it been a month? Or a month and a half?
I
It's
think
been a
we
while.
did it January, at the end of January.
All right.
Towards the end of January. I don't
Okay.
know. Roughly,
So-
I think.
We took February off.
Yeah. Yep. And, so what have you been up to?
Mostly working and sleeping. I don't normally talk about my job online, but I think enough people know that I work in IT, and anyone who works in IT, all I really have to say is the word upgrades. And you know exactly what's been going on in my life the past month. So upgrades, and I did have a week off when I hoped to get a whole lot of stuff done, but I managed to screw up my shoulder. So I spent most of that weekend, or most of that week, um, basically sleeping and watching TV. So, some fun things that I've been doing in between the work and the sleep. I've gotten a lot of spring cleaning done on my card collection. Just doing a lot of sorting, organizing, checklisting, want listing. That has been my main focus for the past month, is just getting stuff in order. Um, I have managed to find a couple of boxes to break. Scott Crawford from Crawford on Card sent me a box of the Crow card. And I
Wow.
managed to find a couple cheap boxes of 1991 All World Boxing and 1996 Fleer Update. So those are some boxes we can talk about next time if you're interested.
Does the Crow have autographs? Like Brandon Lee stuff?
No,
or no?
this was
Too early.
this was not the first Crow. I don't even
Oh.
think it was the second Crow.
Oh.
I think what was the name of this? City of Angels, I believe.
Oh, yeah, I think that's the...
This is the
yeah.
one with Iggy Pop in it. That I have never seen the movie, which I've heard the movie is terrible,
Oh,
but
God.
I have Iggy Pop trading cards right now, which is amazing. And my main, this is not related to trading cards at all, but instead of buying up new blasters of Topps and Opening Day and Heritage and all that kind of stuff, there's a shop called Second and Charles. Best way to describe it is Media Play had a baby with a thrift store. Lots of used vinyl, old retro games, new and used books, but they've been blowing out their CDs, so I've bought a lot of 50-cent CDs lately, and it's
Wow.
amazing how good even terrible CDs are if you bought them for 50 cents. So been listening to a lot of music, and I've started an X-Files binge, so I think it's about time I kind of sort of rewatched the series, especially since there's a lot of smoke about a reboot of the series coming up either this year or next.
Yeah, I didn't include that on this topic for this episode, but yeah, hopefully we get some closure on the X-Files series. I watched them probably all the episodes in maybe, let's see, 2010, I would say. And it gets real rough at the Robert Patrick years, and the other, I forget her name, the other FBI agent, the female FBI agent they added towards the end, who was very serviceable, but it's hard to compare to Fox, Mulder, and Scully, and so. But I always enjoyed the Monster of the Week episodes, even as they got more and more crazy about the conspiracy stuff that it's hard to even keep track, really. But
yeah, that's one of the best Monster of the Week shows out there, and I haven't watched any of the episodes probably since most of them since the 90s.
Oh, so there's stuff you haven't seen
here and there, but
okay.
Yeah, I haven't. This is my first complete watching of the series, so I'm hesitant to call it a rewatch. But that's
how far are you?
It's your basic Netflix binge. I've gotten about 2 seasons in.
Okay.
So.
Well, the great part of it is that it's like you can see the beginning of Breaking Bad if you're a fan of Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Have you up to the Bryan Cranston episode yet?
No, I haven't gotten to that one yet, and I haven't actually seen Breaking Bad. I think I.
You haven't? Oh Lord.
Okay. I'm not allowed to watch a TV series unless it's been off the air for 10 years. So I'll get to that one soon.
Yeah. Well, there's an episode written by the creator of Breaking Bad, starring Bryan Cranston, and years later he created a whole show for him. So
nice.
For me personally, I went to my first card show today in I don't know, I think probably since before the last episode of the podcast. So I got a card today I always wanted. It's an oddball card from the 1952 top set. Card 31, which is, if I'm saying his name right, Gus Zernial. Just saying that. Do you know which card it is?
Yeah, Gus Zernial, I think.
Yeah. Do you know which one that is just by mentioning the name?
That is the one that appears to have 7 baseballs
yes.
Magnetically attached to a wooden bat.
Yeah, it's this weird. I guess back in the 50s they used to do this thing. I just finished reading Andy Pafko autobiography, and there were photos in that of there'll be this photos with him and 7 bats together because he had 7 hits or something in a day or whatever. Or in a week. Well, yeah, Gus Zernial hit 6 home runs in 3 days, or 3 games, which is impressive. It's not a record, I mean, it's, pretty good. And so they have a photo of 6 balls attached to the bat, and it's just it's sort of like a, I don't know. It's just like a weird sort of surreal baseball card. I've always wanted it. Found one for $5 today at the card show, which you had intentions of going to, but did you end up making it, or you?
I did not make it. We had some issues with the car, and that set us back a little bit. And it's like I could have gone, but I would only be there for an hour, and it would be going out of our way. And it's like, I ended up buying more CDs. So
yeah. Dave and I live in the same general geographic area, but we would say we live in the same city. I guess you'd say you live in the greater Atlanta area, but still it's easily an hour drive anywhere,
Yes.
So it's sort of we have all these card shows, but it's still quite a trek to get somewhere. For my collection wise, I'm going through a thinning, I guess you would say, maybe thinning hair, getting rid of, not so much getting rid of, but I don't know, how many George Brett cards do I need? How many Keith Hernandez cards do I need? So I'm toying with the idea of, our card shows are a pretty big deal around Atlanta, and so it costs a lot of money to get a booth. Surprisingly a lot of money considering the strength of the baseball card market, in the world. But I'm thinking about setting up some dime boxes in the hallway of the Hilton. See if anyone notices, or maybe in the in my hatchback. Hey kid,
Nice.
come look at my boxes of cards. I don't know.
Bootleg cards in the
yeah.
parking lot.
I have too many. I'm not really. Yeah.
I know this phenomenon, and I'm surrounded by monster boxes right now.
Yeah.
And when I mean spring cleaning, that's kind of what I'm trying to do ultimately, is just get everything organized, checklisted, and all the stuff that I really don't care about, find a new home for it. But we're early on in that process.
Yeah. I'm not too much of a.
Although I'm.
Go ahead.
I must say that I have one accomplishment under my belt is I have managed to get updated want lists for every Upper Deck and Donruss base set, and I'm halfway through Fleer. So just need to get Score and maybe Pacific.
And your Tops is
after
current?
that. Tops has been current for a while. I've been focusing on Tops, but the rest of the stuff has been neglected, and so just getting all the checklists down in a document is an amazing thing. Now I need to post it.
An upcoming news story. There's more Donruss products coming.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, I don't really collect sets too much. I mainly collect by player, so I just have these monster boxes divided by player, and so I don't know. The junk wax has got to go, I guess. So last time, in our last episode, we had a few omissions that we needed to, or corrections and omissions we needed to address. If you remember, so many months ago, I don't remember the context, but we were talking about a Prince album. One.
This is my crate o albums that I picked up.
So the album that we were talking about, we were trying to track down, was Around the World in a Day from 1985. So if you needed,
which is the first track on the album, which I would have known that if I had picked up the album. Which I'm holding it in my hand now, which I should have done. Around the World in a Day, Paisley Park, Condition of the Heart, Raspberry Beret, Tambourine, America, Pop Life, The Ladder, and Temptation.
If you needed closure, there it is.
There it is.
And when we were talking about Tops 2015, I mean, it was so long ago that 2015 wasn't even out yet.
Yes.
We had some doubt or questions on if there was a clear version of a clear variation of the cards, and there is, and it's out of 10. So if you were screaming at the podcast last time, like, how did they not know this? There is a clear variation, and it's out of 10. So, on to news, and so this has got to be probably going to end up being the card story of the year, I would imagine. Short of, I don't know, that happening again, but Topps announced this week that they are recalling a product. Have you ever heard of anything like this?
Not an entire product. I can't think of anything. I mean, there have been products that had problems before, and they
I mean, on a card-to-card basis, yeah.
Yeah, so, not the whole thing.
Yeah. So Topps is recalling 2015 Topps Tribute, one of their ultra high-end products, which only have, basically it's like a single pack of cards in the product. And the issue started coming forward through sales on eBay and scans of people ripping products, that it seems like the cards, specifically with sticker autographs, it seems like they, I don't know, if you lack a better word, they were rubbing off, really. Like there's some kind of friction or something on the sticker, and it seems like part of the signatures were, I don't know, coming off on the wrapper? I don't know, but...
Yeah, there's smudging somehow.
Yeah.
Case breakers saw this first, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure somebody opened up a case, and then Brent and Becca saw the same thing in their case.
Yeah. So Topps issued a statement saying that the problem was, and this would probably become a sort of famous statement too, UV contamination on the cards or on the stickers. Which, I don't know if it means something was wrong with that batch of stickers they used and the ink wasn't adhering correctly to the sticker. It makes one wonder about, other products that have these stickers, if they're running into the same problem, and we may never know. Topps may just delay some products, I guess. Since this one sort of hit the market, and I don't know how they. Well, I don't know if we need to have Conspiracy Dave make a appearance here, but I mean, do you think they knew this?
No, there's no. I don't think there's a conspiracy Dave angle to this. I think
There's not. Like when they packed the product, they didn't know. Like the.
yeah, because I'm still not 100% sure how this even happened. If someone signed the card and then it smudged, or if they packed out the card and then it smudged in the pack, or what exactly happened. But it's really hard to sign on a lot of these UV coated, slick, shiny cards. Sharpies work pretty good, but Sharpies can smear, which is the problem in this case. But Topps addressed it very quickly. There was a couple of days when all the rabble-rousers were making hay. I'm not sure if I'm a rabble-rouser or not. I like
a casual rabble-rouser, maybe?
well,
not professional. You're not professional?
Rabble-rouser.
Yes, there you go.
I just want to throw out jokes and, have the two people who understand the jokes laugh at the joke. But I'm not sure if I was included with all the troublemakers or not. But I made a couple of jokes about it. Topps Total has never had a problem with smearing before.
Yeah.
Which honestly was a mistake, because I pulled out a Jimmy Journell autograph card that I pulled from a box of Topps Total, and there was a Sharpie autograph on it, and the Sharpie was a little bit wasn't smeared, but it wasn't perfect either. So
yeah.
I was wrong on that front. But Topps addressed it very quickly and very decisively. I mean, to recall the whole product, that's a big step that costs them a lot of money. They are going above and beyond with the replacement. You get a replacement of equal value plus a bonus relic, I believe. Which I mean, they're definitely trying to make everything right, and which is the right move, because you can't put out a subpar quality product for a high end card product like that and expect people to buy any future high-end products if you're not going to make it right. And they're making it right here, so applaud them on that.
So you have a unopened case of 2015 Tribute. I mean, what do you do?
Yeah,
that's
the big question.
I mean, I do not. I would not. I mean,
yeah.
I would, because these cards are going to be super rare. Unless, do you think Topps is going to actually issue a 2015 Tribute set? I mean, like redo it type thing, or I mean,
yeah, I don't know. It
yeah.
might not be cost effective for them to go through all the stuff they recalled and figure out which cards are worth repacking and which cards aren't. I guess they could go through it and send it out as replacement autos and relics, but if I had a box of Tribute, I would probably hold on to it. One, because I'm lazy, and two, because this is probably going to be at least perceived as a more scarce product, even if it is.
Right,
or if
exactly,
it isn't. And three, I don't care if autographs are smudged anyway. One of my prized possessions is a Hank Aaron photo that's all smudgy that I bought for $7 because somebody smudged it. So I love smudged autos. Send them all to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems that also, I mean, if you if you do happen to hit the smudge or the the worn off autograph, that you
Yeah.
seem to come out ahead as opposed to just returning it and getting a refund. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's the thing. If you have an unopened box, you might as well just open it, and if everything's perfect, then great. If everything's not perfect, then just send back the individual card. So,
Yeah.
because they're taking either the whole boxes back, and I'm not sure if
Yeah.
it's a refund or if it's a replacement, but they will replace damaged autos. So open it up. If you got a good one, great. If you got a bad one, hey, bonus. You know, a
Okay.
smudged auto is now mojo. So
Yes, right, right. And it is sort of an oddity of the hobby, I mean, it almost becomes more valuable just for its very existence. You know what I mean? It's hard to
yeah,
explain, but Topps creating this problem is sort of, I don't know, creates a market for the card. It's sort of crazy, but
yeah. And
it's
Tribute is I've seen a lot of hate for Tribute online recently, but it's a decent looking set. It's basically
yeah,
your thick stock on shiny, chromy,
yeah. I always enjoy the
refractory.
singles.
Yeah, the singles always look good. Singles don't smudge, so
I mean, I'll take Tribute over triple threads. That's never done anything for me personally. So
yeah,
I like the shiny singles, and the Tribute did a weird I think it was like a book insert set where they had
yeah.
I just remember having like a Moby Dick card from
Hmm.
Tribute a few years ago, and um anyway, none of either of us are never going to open Topps Tribute, but we will open the
Exactly.
other Topps products that have come out recently. So we have Series One, Heritage, Opening Day. Um, they sort of all Topps really tries to get the ball rolling with their sets at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
Um, so what have you've opened? What have you done? You've done Topps. Oh yeah,
I've done
stickers
the
also.
Tops base set. I've done the sticker set, and Tops base set and or flagship and the sticker album are the two sets I'm going to be focusing on at least till the middle of the year when
Have
Ginter
you
comes out
finished
and
Series
Maybe
One?
the archive. I'm pretty close in Series
Yeah.
One. I think I am. Well, I received a care package from Grog on Twitter. He
Mm-hmm.
opened up a few blasters and kept the cards he wanted, and I think just sent me the rest. Uh, but that filled up a large portion of my set, and I think I'm under, 40 cards to
Mm-hmm.
complete it. So, as soon as I can find a nice dime box, I should be able to finish it up.
They one thing that Topps always does, they include I don't call them gimmicks, but the ultra rare. They have the sparkles. I don't think I've ever actually pulled one of these in a pack. The ultra short print variations. In Heritage, they have these incredibly detailed error cards that
Yes.
you would never notice unless you were um, checking out the little codes at the bottom. Maybe someday we'll talk about those on the podcast. Explain what the coding really means on the back of these cards. I'm not. I haven't opened any Heritage, and I don't know if I probably won't, because I'm just a little tired of the, I don't know, just sort of recycling it. I know it's unique each year, and I love the old vintage sets, but that all the error variations really bug me, I guess, with on my Twitter feed about showing the cards, and it's, I don't know, maybe I'm just an old grumpy old person about this sort of thing. It's just, I don't know. It irritates me that that's what everyone wants, are these just variations and these errors, when I don't know, the base set doesn't seem to matter. I
Yeah,
opening
I'm
day. Go ahead.
yeah, I'm kind of on the opposite end from you as far as the
Yeah.
variations go. Uh, in tops, they had two basic types of variations. They had the photo variations, which I can't even remember which. I think they're just have a different photo. It's like the base card has the normal picture and the variation has the cool
Uh-huh.
photo.
Yeah.
And then there's another variation that, like you said, the sparkles or the twinks or the twinkles or the whatevers. Those I don't care for. I think they were just
Yeah.
a really dumb variation because basically what these are is they're the normal photo on the base card, but Topps has photoshopped in a little sparkle, lens flare, whatever you want to call
Mm-hmm.
it. And some of them are very hard to spot. Uh, and the biggest problem with them is in some of the base cards, they have natural twinkles or sparkles. Very first card both of us pulled, BJ Upton, has a sparkle on his
Yeah.
helmet. And it was just that's just part of the photo. That wasn't
Mm-hmm.
photoshopped in. It's just there's a sparkle, and that is a base card, and that confuses the hell out of everybody when that's a rare added value variation card. People are looking for sparkles, and then everybody who pulls a BJ Upton card has unfounded joy because they got something valuable, just like the Braves did when they signed him. But oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, I don't really care for the sparkles. As far as heritage goes, with the error
Yeah.
variations, I actually really like those because Topps has been good with heritage about uh, having callbacks to the original set. If there's an
Oh yeah.
error, even an uncorrected error, like there's several birthdays that are screwed up because in the original set they put the guy's birthday as 1937 instead of 1947 or whatever. Um, and they've done this again this year. The main one that people are talking about are the traded lines, and Jason Hayward has one of those. I greatly covet this card. And the difference is on the back of the card, underneath the name and the biographical data. On the base card, it says hometown is whatever Georgia. I've completely blanked on that, so there's
Mm-hmm.
another one for errors and corrections next week that I should know better. In the variation, it has traded to Cardinals on so and so date. Um, and this is actually something they did back in the 1966 set. On a few cards, a few players were traded, and they put on the back traded to Cardinals, to Phillies, to wherever on this date. And I actually have one of them, and it's the Bob Uecker card. And I
Mm-hmm.
believe he was traded from the Phillies to the Cardinals, or possibly vice versa. But uh, just the fact that two of my favorite players, Bob Uecker and Jason Hayward, have this variation. I enjoy that, even though I didn't enjoy the trade. But I like those kind of variations in Heritage when they do weird color swaps or have a black bar instead of a colored
Mm-hmm.
bar. Those I can do without. And super rare throwback jersey cards when there are other players with base cards that have throwback jerseys. Everything gets really
Yeah.
confusing after a while. But
Yeah.
the callbacks I like.
Yeah, I totally give Topps a lot of credit for the level of detail they put into these throwback sets. I just wish people would. I know it's all about rarity and scarcity and value and all that, but I don't know. Like, I seriously, you see these tweets about they show me a card and they're showing me the error, and I have like no effing clue what the hell. What's the big
Exactly.
deal? I know the code,
Yeah.
the little code in the black bar in the bold text at the bottom is somehow different than your base card, but I mean, I know what you're like the birth dates and all that. It's just like I know something's wrong here. I can't figure out what it is, and I know you think that this card is valuable. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, with opening day, I had an interesting thing happen to me at the card show today. I was sorting through dime boxes, and an old guy who, it seemed to me like he was an older guy who collected maybe 20 years ago, if I was to guess who this guy was. And he asked if he could look at the box of opening day that had been ripped. You know, the good stuff's been taken out. It's just a hobby box with loose cards inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he wanted to see it. And so the lady handed it to him, and he looked through it, and he was flipping through, and he's like, so opening day, it's just the base set with a little logo on it? And it was like, she's like, yeah, pretty much. I was like, oh wow, this is really happening. I'm not the only one who sometimes wonders about this. Like, it was just a funny moment. There is more to opening day, of course. I'm a big fan of it. I enjoy the mascot cards that come, the weird inserts they do. I particularly love if I could track down a Teddy Roosevelt mascot autograph card.
Yeah, that's on my want list as well. I would
Yeah.
love a Teddy card.
It is interesting who they have sign them. Like, who is the representative of the Philly fanatic that signed the autographs? Is there a guy who isn't? I mean, I guess we have to talk about are the mascots just one person? Is it rotating like at Disney, or I don't know?
Yeah, you don't want to think about that too hard, because I've got a Santa Claus autograph from I think they put out a Santa Claus set, I believe in 2008 or 2009, and it had an autograph card and a relic of his red coat. And you know what? It's Santa's autograph. I'm just gonna have the suspension of disbelief, and Santa Claus signed his name. So. Same thing. Philly Fanatic has really good penmanship, as he obviously would. So.
And so your favorite of these new products is Heritage?
No, like you, I have not bought a single pack of Heritage, even though I have kind of.
You're a defender to the end, but you have not.
Well, Heritage. I mean, I collected Heritage religiously.
Yes.
Till about 2012,
Myself as well.
When I just couldn't deal with it anymore. It's just and it's the biggest problem with Heritage is all those damned short prints. I mean,
right, yeah.
You got a 425 card base set, which is really nice, and it looks good, and it's on good stock, and the cards look really good, and they've got the old style portraits, which I really love. I mean, the Jason Hayward card looks fantastic, even with that horrible, awful Cardinals cap on the guy. I love that card, but it's just there's so many short prints. They're so hard to get. I think they're 1 in 3 packs.
And then there's the shenanigans of the high series.
Yeah, I mean, forget even the high series. One of the biggest problems is the past few years they've been loading up the short prints with all the stars. I'm not sure if Mike Trout has had a single non-short printed base card yet. Felix Hernandez hadn't had one in years. I mean, they're throwing all the best players in short prints, and you can't hardly pull any of them. I mean, even if you buy a rack pack, which is basically 2 packs and costs as much as 2 packs. You're not even guaranteed 1 short print in a rack pack, so I don't know. It's a good set. I like it. Yeah, it's stickers. I mean, I've got my sticker album, and I've bought 6 packs so far. Packets, actually.
Packets, yes.
They have gone from the Mylar wrappers that they had before, which were kind of odd. I mean, to have these tiny little packs. And they've gone back to the paper packets that stickers had traditionally come in, which is, I like that a lot better. I don't know, it's silly distinction to have, but I enjoy ripping those paper packets better than I like opening the little tiny Mylar baby packs of stickers. But it's 301 stickers. So it's there's no short prints, there's no variations, it's just stickers, and it's looks like a fun rip. And anybody who's
Mm-hmm.
tried to collect a sticker album knows that 300 stickers are harder to get than you think. So
Yeah.
you're gonna get a lot of doubles, but it's fun.
I always find when I've tried the World Cup stickers a couple times that I sort of fade. I fade quickly in my
Yeah,
excitement for it, or even the ability to find them sometimes
yeah.
is
Um,
tough.
those are two big things because very quickly in the game you start getting double packets, and
Yeah.
there's a law of diminishing returns on those
Yeah.
things that comes up quickly. And last year they had better distribution on the World Cup sticker packets, but
Yeah.
the 2010 stickers, God, they vanished immediately. I think
Hmm.
Panini didn't think that those dumb Americans would want
Yeah.
World Cup stickers, but we kind of went crazy for them. They vanished almost instantly.
So in our last episode, we talked about that both you and I were nominated for BIP awards this year for our blogging prowess, and Dave, you won. You are
I've won.
the big wiener of
Yes,
non non sports card of the year.
non-sports card blog, and
Yes.
I did tell everyone to vote for Trader Crex, and I still stand by that statement. But I am thankful for everyone who voted for me. Um, I can see why I won the award because I know of at least two people on Twitter who blame me for their non-sports card addictions at the moment.
Yeah.
And even though last year was a kind of a garbage year for my blog, I didn't think I did a particularly good
Mm-hmm.
job. And I haven't done a great job this year either. I've basically posted a couple of want lists and that about it. But I can see why uh, some people voted for me, and I thank all of you. I'm glad that people like the blog and think that I have something important to say. So thanks to everybody who voted.
Yes.
Thanks to everybody out
Congratulations.
there who collect and keep on ripping those non-sports packs. And
Yeah.
I'll try to post something, you know, soon-ish,
This month.
eventually.
Um, um, yeah, you gotta post those football cards from podcast number one.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's the thing. I've got all that stuff scanned. I've got a gigantic folder full of scans, and I just haven't, you know,
mhm.
I've got that writer's block, I guess, or the lazy block.
Yeah, blog of the year went to Night Owl Cards, if I
Yes,
remember right, and I mean,
deservedly so.
Greg, Greg is really unparalleled on his
Yes.
the in depth nature that he goes on Dodger cards, and uh, cards that show night games, and it
1971,
helps.
1985. He's got all kinds of block.
Oh yes, so he was blog of the year, and thanks to Suze of the Cardboard Problem for hosting this whole BIP Awards thing this
Yes.
year. Hopefully it sort of stays with her. Hopefully she'll be doing it because it sort of floats around sometimes and it's called different things. But it'd be nice to have sort of a stable home
Yes.
for things like that. So
Thanks, Suze.
and to talk about too, Suze works for Tops, and she now the sticker set is her baby sort of.
Yes.
She edits the cards. Is that right?
Yes. And she did a good job. The
Yeah.
stickers, I like the design. It's a very simple but classy design. And photos are really good. There's a Nolan Ryan card where he's got a football, which is fun. Um, lots of legends and mascots in the sticker set, and the a lot of times this hits the OCD people. The sticker is a slightly different size than the window to stick it in,
Oh.
which drives people crazy. But this year, it's kind of like a frame, and you kind of
Yeah.
stick the sticker right in the middle of the frame, and it looks fantastic. So, very good job on the album this year. One thing people have commented on is the logo stickers do not fit in their boxes. There's a basically the centerfold has a spot for logo stickers for all 30 teams, and then kind of a playoff bracket for the end of the season to fill that out. But the stickers are a little bigger than the windows, but they're logo stickers, so just stick them anywhere. You don't have to be OCD on logo stickers. So
I mean, it
really
wouldn't.
good album. I really like the design, and it's Suze did a good job.
We're contractually obligated to point out some flaw, so.
Yeah,
In as we
but
mentioned
actually,
earlier.
I think this is more of a feature than a bug because now you can
Oh,
just
okay.
kind of stick the logo stickers haphazardly all over the place like you're a kid. So it's great for us middle-aged kids.
Yes. As we mentioned, Dave's going to have to expand his Donruss needs list as, Donruss 2015 baseball was recently released since our last podcast, and
Yes.
the design didn't inspire a lot of love from collectors. And so Panini is going to go do a second attempt at this, and this time they're focusing on Diamond Kings. They announced that the set 2015 Donruss Diamond Kings is coming in April, and one sort of interesting little trivia note, I guess, is that this is the first product with Babe Ruth cards in it from Panini, and if that's something that excites you, I guess, good, you know. I, as a person who has every Donruss Diamond King from the first era of Donruss, I'm always a huge fan of these sort of cards. As we've mentioned before, they've sort of effed with the rarity of Diamond Kings, and they don't really have the amazing artwork, the Dick Prez artwork that they did previously. But I'm excited. I'm excited for a non-tops baseball set. Even though there's no logos, of course. I don't know. What do you think? Are you excited about Diamond Kings?
Yeah, the Donruss, I've actually ripped a pack of Donruss, which I wasn't really planning on doing, but it sort of fell in my lap. So I'm going to have to talk about that in detail on the next podcast because there's a lot to talk about with base Donruss.
Well, I bought some Donruss today, so that's definitely
so
we'll entice you for next episode.
stay tuned for episode, what is it, 7, and
Yes.
we'll have a nice big rant on Donruss, I'm sure. But Diamond Kings, I think it's interesting. I collected the Diamond Kings sets, not just the inserts from Donruss flagship. The Diamond Kings had their own set for several years back in the early 2000s,
Yeah.
and the main quality of those sets is they looked very good, but they were very convoluted. There was lots of parallels and gimmicks and relics and craziness and nonsense going on with them. So the base cards look fantastic, though. One problem that I have with the preview that we saw for Donruss Diamond Kings is there is not a picture of a base card.
That's true.
It's all super hits and autographs and double relics and patches, and so the ones that the images I did see did sort of hint at an art sort of motif, even though the actual pictures are not painted or they're not actual artwork. They're I guess more photoshopped and they have filters and whatever, but there was like some paint splotches and some uh, sketchy details. I think one of them is even called sketch relics or something like that. Uh, but the big question is, yeah, the big hits look nice and they should look nice, but what does the actual base cards look like? And before I can say anything about 2015 Diamond Kings, is what do the base cards look like? I have to see one of them. I have to know that they actually put some effort into them and they aren't just, a normal photo, photoshopped all the logos out and then run through an uglifying filter, that makes it kind of sort of look like an oil painting or a watercolor or whatever. Because I've seen sets that tried to do it before, like 2004 Upper Deck Play Ball, that looked absolutely dreadful, hideous, awful. So, you know, I'm anticipating it, but I'm not gonna get excited until I actually see what the real base cards, the cards that you will actually pull out of the pack, are gonna look like.
Yeah, I would say the the Babe Ruth card looks like um, Allen and Ginter. You know, the relic is a small, looks like a mini card in the middle of a frame that looks like with an Art Deco style.
Yeah,
The
that card
Ichiro,
looked that card looked really good. I mean,
yeah,
and
the
that's
Ichiro relic that we have here looks to me like, if you remember the Mayo um,
oh yeah,
football set, it sort of reminds me of that a little bit. Um, yeah, it's sort of. I mean, it's all. At some point, every design is almost a rehash, but
hmm
um, I enjoy. I don't know. I enjoy it when it's clear who a Diamond King is and what a diamond. What Diamond Kings you should collect in a set. Whereas this is sort of like you said, it's like a throwback to the past sets where everyone's a Diamond King, and
yeah.
uh, it's like everyone gets a trophy. Uh, so that's coming in April. I don't have a firm. I don't think we have a firm date yet. And a common topic in on the podcast is the future of Upper Deck. What's going to happen to it? Um, are we getting closer to the end? Are we? The rumors of Upper Deck's demise are greatly exaggerated. So in the past, well, since the last podcast, Upper Deck's sort of continued its trend of trying to sign exclusive agreements with large stars, and basically sort of moving towards becoming more and more memorabilia seller, not so much a card set. I mean, really, they don't really make huge sets anymore. They signed the top two NFL prospects, Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston, to exclusive deals for their 2015 Upper Deck Inscriptions set, which is literally just autograph cards. I don't think there is any base cards with that set. And they re-signed Michael Jordan to, another long-term set to exclusively sell his memorabilia. And, it's sort of, I get, Upper Deck is still alive and kicking, and it's sort of, it's it's transformed itself into something a little different than the huge base set card company that we know and love. Um,
Yeah,
and
they're it's like they're having tough times, so they're just sort of retreating and fortifying with what they have because
yes,
they're
right,
doing
yeah,
very well with hockey. I mean, Young Guns are literally the best hockey card out there. Period. So they're doing very well with that. Um, they've got a couple of things going on here and there as far as cards go, but they're kind of laying back for to let the bad times pass by, and they can sell memorabilia all day long. I mean, Michael Jordan Being a big Dominique Wilkins fan, I don't have any love for the guy, but plenty of people do, and his
Yes.
memorabilia sells for very high prices, and they can sell Mike stuff all day long and wait for them to get back one of those big license deals. Uh, and these exclusive signings for football, I mean, that's a complete reaction to Panini's college football license. They are in the college football wars with Panini right now. So,
Yes.
getting, I can't pronounce his first name, Winston and Mariota. And I noticed they also signed Todd Gurley from my University of Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
uh, who could be Terrell Davis. He could be Robert Edwards. You know, depends on how
Yeah.
those legs hold up. But
It's a real shame what happened to him.
yeah, so you know they're not gonna go down without a fight, and here they are fighting. And honestly, after sorting through all my Upper Deck products over the past month and a half, I would really like to see them get a baseball license again because
Mm-hmm.
really they had the best looking product, definitely in the 90s, and also the base set kind of got neglected a little bit in the early 2000s, but you know the 2008 Upper Deck set is one of the best looking sets of all time. Um, you know, uh, if we can ever get another license, a second license in the go head to head against Tops, I'd kind of like to see Upper Deck get it. To be perfectly honest,
I
especially after
always
the Dunruss set that just came out.
I always appreciate Upper Deck's not statistical, but their organization, where on the back of the card there's typically in bold lettering what set this is from, what year it's from. I don't know. They did a really good job. If we can give them credit for numbering and organizing the back of their
Yeah,
card,
there's
I give
very
them.
few. There's a couple, but there's very few Upper Deck sets where the card number is impossible to read. There's one of them in the late 90s. I think it's 99. That's really hard to read. But the rest of them, you know, you can see the card number. You know what set it's from.
Yeah.
It's very good quality, good, uh, well designed product.
So our next topic is an interesting, probably the first of its kind, especially by a major card company, and it may be the future of creating and developing card sets. So, Topps announced that they are going to do a Kickstarter for a third incarnation of Mars Attacks. This one would be called Mars. Let me get it here. I closed it out. Mars Attacks Occupation, and um, the Kickstarter doesn't begin until May, so this is the hype before the hype. And it's interesting. In interviews I read, let's see, the one in particular was a Q&A on Beckett News with what's his name, Adam Levine, basically the head guy at Topps, who sends me um, lots of press releases about Mars Attacks and Garbage Pail Kids and all their basically non-baseball stuff. And basically, it's sort of like they didn't quite have enough interest to do a huge set on their own, and fans like Mars Attacks, and um, basically they're gonna give it a shot to see if there's enough interest to fund a product being made. Granted, with Kickstarter though, there's no guarantee that the money you spend it means you'll get anything. To be honest with you, you're sort of taking a chance, and it's always, I don't know what you can tell me in a second, but a little bit this reminds me of um, the negative feedback. If you remember, Zach Braff from Scrubs used Kickstarter or Indiegogo to fund a movie in which it seems like he could find the money to make the movie.
Yeah.
Um, and it's sort of like a cash grab, sort of. and it scares me a little bit, but then again, um, we may be able to have a set that we would not have normally under the normal economics of baseball cards right now.
Yeah,
Do,
I think this is very interesting. I'm going to be watching this when it finally does happen in May. I mean, it's a good idea. I mean, everybody knows what Kickstarter is now,
yeah,
and uh, things like that and Indiegogo, which I understand the backlash against Zach Braff because basically if he goes on there begging for money, that's potentially money that could be taken from other independent filmmakers, trying to
hmm
get their visions um, funded. It's kind of sucking
yeah,
all the air out of the room when a big card company like Topps does a Kickstarter that might squeeze a little guy out like Varsity Cards, uh, if they both decided to do a Kickstarter at the same time. But on the other hand, this could be the wave of the future, not for your main sets. I mean, there's always going to be a flagship set or a baseball set or your latest Marvel uh, well-known franchise set, but for more obscure properties like Mars Attacks or something like that, this could be a good way to take some of the risk away from Tops instead of funding a design uh, of a Mars Attack set, and because there's a lot of work that has to go into that. You got to get somebody to write the story. You have to get people to illustrate and do the artwork, and then there's the sketch cards and all kinds of autographs and all that weirdness that goes into that. Put all that money into a product and then put it out there and then nobody buys it. That could be very bad in this uh, this current phase of
hmm
trading cards. Uh, but if you go on Kickstarter and say, okay, we need this much to fund it, uh, give us the money and we'll produce X amount of boxes of this product, and you will get a box. Or I'm not sure how the logistics of that is going to work. If you can,
hmm
I guess there's going to be tiers where you can put in $1 and they'll Tops will say thanks for supporting our thing and maybe
yeah,
send you a sticker or whatever. Or if you do a box tier or a case tier or 100 cases tier or
hmm
a tier where you
yeah.
get to actually draw one of the cards. I don't know. What kind of bonuses could you get with that? But it's a way to judge support for an oddball product like this, without having to put all the risk into designing it and dumping a bunch of money, and then if it flops, then that's a big hit in today's market. So
Yeah, it's interesting because it's going to be. I mean, the most I've ever given in a Kickstarter is $25, I believe.
yeah,
Is it going to be? We'll definitely address this again when they go live and they show us the tiers. I
yeah,
mean, I would imagine you're going to be buying. If you give $10 or something, maybe you can get packs, but um, it just seems like it's interesting too in that sense. Like if we're going to support this and we're going to put in, let's say $75 gets you a box of it.
yeah,
Like now we're literally buying the cards from Tops. It's not
yep.
as opposed to a middleman. Or a reseller or a card shop. And so it's
Which
sort
in
of
that
like
that might be a tier. Give them
yeah,
$10,000 and you get so many cases, and then you can.
yeah,
I could see some of the big online sellers doing that, or even a case breaker. I'm not sure who would buy into a group break of
yeah.
Mars Attacks, but I could see DA Cards or somebody, dumping a lot of money and then getting a big chunk of the production to sell online. Um, But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And what do they do with stretch goals if they need 100 grand uh, to complete this Kickstarter and they make $1 million? You know, what's going to happen? You know, are they going to print more? Are they going
Mm-hmm.
to, you know, are people going to expect a certain amount of rarity? Uh, you know,
Yeah.
are they going to print more if people want to buy it? I don't know. Who knows? If the
It
thing
will
goes
definitely give
viral,
us.
you know, it could hit 10 mil, and
Yeah. I
maybe
mean,
we'll see them
it'll
out at Walmart.
definitely give us an interesting view into the economics of a baseball card set or a non-sport set
Yeah,
on how much it costs to produce this.
exactly.
That we may not be able to see exactly. In terms of products that it seems that the world is screaming out for Topps to do a Kickstarter, 1983 Topps Purloined Cats
Oh
seems to
yeah,
be.
yeah.
Um,
In the interview that you mentioned, he does mention the Mars Attacks little sister, Dinosaurs Attack.
yes.
So hopefully, I'm actually rooting for this to be very successful. So they'll go ahead and uh, go with Dinosaurs Attack Series 2. That's a Kickstarter I will definitely
Yeah,
support. Um,
over on a pack to be named later, my pack a day blog, a person opened a pack of Pelorian cats after we talked
Sweet.
about. I don't remember what episode that was on, but that was a Q&A question, I believe.
Yes,
It's a Hall of Fame pack if you have not seen it over on a pack to be named later.
that's
Um,
a Hall of Fame set.
yes, I
Let's
mean
be honest.
it is unreal how it is a set made for Reddit and
Yes, this is definitely the internet's favorite trading card set.
yes. Okay, so since we last talked, it was announced that Spider-Man will be coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe through the official movies. So it sounds like he's going to be, well, who knows? It might. I wouldn't be totally shocked if he appeared for a millisecond in Avengers. Um, that would be probably the internet would blow up. Um,
Yes.
I think that it's going to be uh, the Civil War movie, the Captain America 3, in which um, he will make his cinematic debut, but it's all sort of up in the air. You never quite know. Um, we're one step closer, it seems to me. We're one step closer to making everything right in the world. So,
Yes.
you feel the same way?
It's about time that Marvel has gotten Spidey back, and really, the Sony Spider-Man movies have gotten increasingly sucky. I mean, people complained about Spider-Man 3 from Sam
Mm-hmm.
Raimi, but you compare that to the Garfield Spider-Mans, and God, it's Citizen Kane compared to the newer garbage that they're
Yes.
coming out with. And you know, Sony has already proven that they have no clue what they're doing with the property. Uh, the Fantastic Four, whoever owns them, they haven't done very well. Basically, anyone who bought a property off of Marvel back in the dismal days when they had to sell everything off, uh, hasn't done a bang up job with them. And right now, Marvel Features is a gigantic juggernaut
Yeah.
that's making just hoovering up money right and left, just sucking every dollar out of every moviegoer in the universe. So if Sony and the rest of them are smart, they just license them back to Marvel, let Marvel make the movies, and just reap all the money without doing any work. That's really how it should go now. And but it doesn't matter because I'm just waiting for the Howard the Duck movie. So, you know, Marvel Universe Spider-Man would be great, but just I'm holding out for Howard.
I'm sure we'll get another. What was it? A bonus scene at the end.
Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and so we've recently had some famous celebrities and um, authors pass away. We've had Leonard Nimoy, Terry Pratchett, and Dave's personal favorite, Gene the Dancing Machine from The Gong Show.
Yes,
Uh, do
very
you
sad
wanna?
about that.
Would you like to honor them?
Yeah, this has been a really terrible month for me because three of my childhood heroes, well, Terry Pratchett isn't a childhood hero, I guess, but I'm still sort of childish, so he counts. Three of my heroes passed on. Leonard Nimoy, everybody knows as Spock. Uh, really one of the great just entertainers, people on this earth. The Spock character is just iconic. Everybody knows Mr. Spock. And Leonard is beloved by everyone. And he's actually done many more things besides Star Trek. I personally went on an In Search of binge, which was they have all the old In Search of episodes with Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster and the Mayan temples and all that kind of weird out there stuff with wonderful electronic music backgrounds from the 70s. They got all those on YouTube, so I did a little binge on that. He had a great performance in the 70s version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and most recently was in Fringe as a small supporting but important character. Um, so really miss Spock. Terry Pratchett, if you're not familiar, is an English author who is best known for his Discworld series. This is sort of best way to describe it to someone who hasn't read it before is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in Middle Earth. That's the best way to describe it. Although Pratchett had a very unique voice. His books were all hilarious, but they did get in a little bit of social satire here and there. The series, if you like reading fantasy series, there are dozens of books to read with several different character arcs to go through. Um, my favorite book from Pratchett is actually a collaboration with Neil Gaiman from the Sandman series called Good Omens, which is basically a nice little tale about the apocalypse. So if you're looking for a good, funny read and you're a fan of uh, humorous fantasy, sort of like Douglas Adams, then I definitely recommend. And Gene the Dancing Machine, it just search it on YouTube if you've never seen it before, and have the best few moments of your life. From for Gene just randomly dancing on the Gong Show while everybody loses their mind and is just one of the happiest things you'll ever see. Miss you, Gene, and we will always dance to your song.
As a person who's never read a Terry Pratchett, where should I start if I was interested? With Good Omens or?
Good Omens is a standalone book. His
Yeah.
Discworld series, again, there are uh, dozens of books in
Mm-hmm.
the series, and you can kind of pick them up anywhere. I mean, you can start with the very first book. I believe it's called The Color of Magic, where you are introduced to the character Rincewind, who is a very inept wizard who goes on mishaps and adventures. But there's a series about the town guards. There's a series about Three Witches, and a series about Death himself. So throughout the books, and they all kind of intermingle and interact every once in a while. But it's I. It's such a big series, and all of the books are pretty much good.
Yeah.
You can kind of start anywhere. The book I started off was called Interesting Times, which was another Rincewind the Wizard book. And, I can't really recommend a book to start off with. I just say if you see one, pick it up and read it. And you'll probably figure out what's going on, and you might pick up more, so be careful.
Yeah, regarding Leonard Nimoy, I totally agree with you. As a kid, I knew he was Spock from the Star Trek movies, but it was really In Search of that was like really caught my interest, and I definitely watched more In Search of episodes than I've ever watched of the original Star Trek.
Yeah.
And
it's just such a 70s show. It's got that occult, weird monster, creepy stuff thing going on, and it's got that brilliant electronic background music that's really cheesy but wonderful. And a lot of the stuff he talks about is just absolute nonsense, but it's just so fun.
For Christmas, I received a DVD set of Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack, and like how is there not a show like this? This is like, it seems like it's there's not a show like this on the air still somewhere.
I don't know that every generation seems to have that kind of show. The 70s had In Search of, and then Unsolved Mysteries was sort of 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
I think now Ancient Aliens maybe.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I hadn't considered
weirdo that. BS show with
or Finding
all kinds of nonsense.
Finding Bigfoot or whatever.
Exactly. But In Search of was one of the first though, and it's one of the best. I could listen to Leonard Nimoy with that voice. Just he could read the phone book. He could read the tax code.
I didn't know it was on YouTube, so I'll have to check that out.
if you search around, you can search for In Search of.
Okay, so next up we have quick hits, which are brief topics where we just talk about the topics not quite as in depth as we normally do. Just sort of a brief synopsis, or briefly talk about them. Okay, so Topps is planning on releasing a set just through their website called Translucent Football, which is, if you're a fan of clear cards, this may be the thing for you. The Topps is calling it a test run, which sort of is intriguing, I think. Sort of like they're not really sure if the public is going to like these or not. I don't have a price for these. These are all autographed cards that are sort of, transparent, I guess, of a lack of a better term. What do you think? Is this sort of like Turkey Red, I guess, that they sell online?
Yeah, it sounds like a Turkey Red online only sort of set. I guess online is the new test product.
I guess.
Because you look throughout Topps history, and they have these weirdo sets that they just sort of throw out, and in the middle of Michigan, or send a bunch of boxes to Iowa or wherever, and see how it sells, and if it's successful, then they'll do a full run the following year, but usually they're not successful. The most famous one of these is the 1975 mini card set, which I guess didn't do good enough at the time, but it's pretty popular nowadays. I guess, why not? See if people buy it online. If it's really popular, they can, make it a real product. And if not, it's just an online only thing. No harm, no foul. Yeah, why not? And if it really bombs, it can get into the clearance section like your Topps watches.
Yes. I. Oh yes. How did I not add this as a topic? Okay, another new quick hits topic. The Topps watches that I eviscerated in I think episode 1. I purchased 2 of them. I purchased a Mike Schmidt and a Johnny Bench. I could not. Oh no! I'm sorry. No, a Nolan Ryan and a Johnny Bench. I could not. Pull the trigger on a white Mike Schmidt watch. So these were $5.99. There was a flash sale on what day was that? Must have been Friday or Thursday for a few hours, and it said watches 90%. And I gotta see these. They claim that there's only 99 of these that were made, and they couldn't sell them at 12. It seems like, and they definitely couldn't sell them at 49 when it was originally made. I have not received them yet. I do not have them in hand, and they have not shipped. So who knows if I actually own one of these yet? But there will be a full review, and I felt I couldn't pass this up. It's sort of like a hate thing that I have to see if I was wrong, if this is a great product. I've had these sort of neon pink watches before. I had like a Andy Warhol inspired Mao watch, so I don't mind the pop sort of nature of them, but I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, I took a swig of my beer,
Yeah.
right like a nanosecond before you said you bought 2 watches, and I very nearly sprayed my laptop, hosed it down with beer. So
Yep.
this is quite amusing to me, and I'm greatly looking forward to this review.
Yes, I am too. I am too, to be honest with you. They got about $12 from me for these watches.
Nice.
So Donruss is getting into soccer cards. Well, I guess Panini. Well, Panini is, but through the Donruss brand.
Yes, this is the first.
Are we
Donruss
excited
branded.
about this?
Uh,
As the soccer collector of the two of us, are you excited?
my big question, well, it's the big question. Big question is, what the heck do the base cards look like? Which is the same question I had about Diamond Kings, but in the sell sheet you saw lots and lots of hits and autographs and stuff, and very zero base cards. So, what do the things look like? How much do they cost? I mean, are they going to cost the same as a regular Donruss pack, or are they going to Panini Prism them to make them a little bit more expensive because they're footy cards? And my biggest question, are there any Arsenal players? Because I am an Arsenal fan. I love my Arsenal. And if there's a Mesut Ozil card in the set, I will buy the hell out of it. And if there is not even a Laurent Koscielny, then I don't think I'm going to bother. But until I find a big pile of base cards in a dime box, and then I'll probably scoop them all up, even if they're all, Man United and Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. So.
I enjoy it when you say names that I have no clue what you're saying. My guess is that the design looks, I don't know. There's like a press proof in the Beckett article that looks vaguely similar to the baseball.
Yeah, if the
design.
press proof is the card design, it's not too bad. It's not Donruss.
They don't have the baseball weird
bad,
orange things. Yeah.
But I mean, and I'll probably, if I see packs out there and they're not outrageously expensive, I'll probably buy them just for funsies. Maybe I'll. Right now, the Soccer teams I support are Arsenal in the Premier League, Watford in the Championship League, which is like the one tier down from the Premier League, and kind of sort of follow the New York City Red Bulls,
Mm-hmm.
mainly because Thierry Henry, who's an Arsenal legend, played for them last year. He retired though, so I'm kind of left adrift without an MLS team. But maybe if I buy a couple of packs of Donruss football, I'll find me a La Liga or one of the German teams to support.
Okay, so I think we both agree that the 2015 Topps design is pretty good. We both are in favor of that.
Yeah, I love the design.
Do you think that it translates to a Chrome card?
Chrome cards are. It's I. As you can tell, I'm not a huge fan of Chrome.
Yeah. Every year I think to myself, why do I even bother collecting the base set? I enjoy Chrome. Why don't I just collect it in Chrome,
Yeah, it's. I mean, some
I
people
never do.
really like. Some people really like the Chrome set. I
Yeah.
liked it better when it was etched.
Okay,
I've gotten
sure.
away from the etching. Back in the '90s, and I think some of the early 2000 sets, they had the etching kind of like prism around the player. I
Mhm.
liked it better back then. Now it's just a shiny, kind of slightly more curved version of top base card, and
Yeah.
it's four
Slightly
cards
more curved.
for it's four cards for $3 instead of
Yeah.
12 cards for $2. So I don't know. I'm not a big Chrome fan. I think this could look very good, especially the refractors, and it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with the rainbows.
Yeah.
Because from what I saw in that sell sheet, there's going to be a lot of parallels. So I don't know. It could be good if you like Chrome. I'm not a big Chrome guy. So
Mhm.
if you're a big Chrome guy, you'll probably like it. But
Yeah, it'll be
you know,
interesting because usually the base cards are white, and so I can't remember the last Topps design. Well, in Chrome that had like a colored border, so
yeah,
it'll be sort
it's
of, I don't know if it's gonna.
2007 with a black border,
Yeah,
which
I guess.
looked okay. But before that, it was 2003, which
Yeah.
I mean, it looked good, I
Mhm.
guess. But again, I'm not a big Chrome guy.
Okay, so they recently released some photos of what Aquaman is going to look like in the upcoming Justice League movies. Um, are we excited about this? Are we? Um,
Aquaman looks so edgy. He's like Goth Aquaman.
yes,
He's got
it's
the
the guy from Game of Thrones.
yeah
Um, and it's
full
just they're
body
all,
tats and
yeah.
wonderful hair and
It's
a
like
lot of eye makeup, and he's got this trident that looks all
it's like
Lord of
why
the Ringsy.
like Dark Knight. Why so serious?
Yeah, it's a badass Aquaman, which is
Yeah,
ridiculous because Aquaman can control sharks to do his bidding.
yeah,
So Aquaman doesn't need to look like a badass. Aquaman can have his, what are they, orange tights or whatever,
yeah.
and just go around swimming around in the ocean and just, start have his own personal Sharknadoes to eat the bad guys. I mean,
I the only thing that would make it better was if during the, I don't know, maybe the 2000s, well, they rebooted Aquaman with he lost a hand, and so he had a trident on like the end of his hand. They at least they didn't go
oh,
that
nice.
far. Um,
They didn't
but
turn him into the orc from The Hobbit with the
right,
sword
exactly.
chunked through his arm.
Um, yes, right. And I'm torn with this. It's sort of like I always think of. There's an episode of The Big Bang Theory where they they talk about in one of their endless insane comic discussions where how does Aquaman poop? Like, do they have special toilets? Like, how does it, and where does it go? Like, so.
Yeah, he just goes in the water
Well, I mean, that's
like a fish.
it'd be sort of like, I don't know. Do they have anyway?
Maybe there's a flap in the back. Who knows?
Yeah, right. Okay, so
But it's just DC is trying to, one up on Marvel, or at least get to their level with this franchise that they got. And I don't know. There's just everything's all too Christopher Nolan edgy.
yeah, I mean, it's one thing if
Stop
there was
being
going to
edgy.
be an Aquaman movie, but there's not going to be an Aquaman movie. It's like he's just going to be inserted into the story somehow. Like, oh yeah, there's this whole underground, underwater civilization, and he's the king, and it's like, what?
It's edgy Atlantis.
Anyway. So it's been
DC, remember that comics are supposed to be fun. Quit having
Yes.
Superman punching people in the face and blowing up cities, and stop being so dark. You don't have to have everything dark.
So it's been a few months since Press Pass went out of business, and Beckett's reporting that NASCAR is working on a card deal. We'll have a new section, Clairvoyant Dave. Who do you think gets the NASCAR license?
Hell if I know.
Well, of course, we don't have any actual information on this, but
I mean, I would, if I were to just make a wild guess, I'd say maybe Upper Deck.
oh, really? I was going to guess Panini.
They've done NASCAR cards before. I mean, it's been a while, but
That's true.
it's a nice big juicy license. It's fits in well with their memorabilia market. I mean, the thing with NASCAR fans is they're not really big set collectors, but they love their player. So
Yeah.
get a NASCAR license, sign up some of the big drivers, and start selling signed helmets and signed tires and signed cars. I don't know. There's got to be some high roller NASCAR fans out there somewhere that buy a signed one-of-one car, I suppose.
So an oddity of the opening day set is, they have the mascot cards. And through some photos on Twitter, I didn't know this, and I did some research, or I attempted to do some research, could not find any specific details. But on the Baltimore Orioles mascot, the Oriole bird, it's on the Topps cards. He's not referred to, or it's not referred to by its name. It's just the Baltimore Orioles mascot, which is totally different than any other mascot card they have in the set. And so it's an oddity to the thing, and I tried to look up research as if the Orioles have some kind of deal with someone else regarding their mascot. Do you know anything about that? Have you heard of this?
It's licensing.
Yeah.
Licensing's a bitch. And you see this in the sticker album.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of the teams have a mascot card. Not all of the teams have the name of the mascot. I mean, some of them do.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Philly Fanatic and Captain, who's the mascot of the Rangers, and a lot of them have that the name on there because Topps is able to get the licensing from them. The ones that they aren't able to, it just says Baltimore Orioles mascot or whatever. I don't have my album in front of me, but there's at least 3 or 4 of those in there, and it's like everything else. Somebody wants to make money off of it, so if you don't pony up the money, you're not going to be able to use the name without risking a lawsuit. And I know with mascots, there's a lot of like companies that deal with the whole marketing and um, and all the appearances of certain mascots. Because I know the University of Georgia has their hairy dog,
Yeah.
and he's in like a stable of college mascots, pro mascots. Is with a company that licenses all this stuff and manages the mascot. So it's possible that the again, I don't have any details either, but it's possible that the mascots that they can't say the names of are part of one of these mascot companies, and it's definitely just a licensing issue.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
sure if the team owned the license, they'd probably be able to do it fairly easily. But you got to throw around the money,
yeah,
and
it's an interesting complication when you think about, getting the license for cards. You just work with the union or work with Major League Baseball, but
yeah.
there's a million other things, like mascots that you don't really
Yeah, and
consider
it's the
till.
same thing, the same reason they have to block out bat boys and
Yeah.
team officials on cards if they manage to sneak into a shot. You just have to get all the requisite signatures, and
Mm-hmm.
you can't do that sometimes. And you know, uh, the lawyers like to earn their money as well, company lawyers. So it might also be a situation like with Anaheim Angels cards or L.A. Angels or whatever they're called for the past decade at least. Topps, if you're an Angels fan, Topps just says Angels
Yeah.
on the card,
Yes.
so you don't have to deal with the L.A. Angels of Anaheim of Orange County in California, United States, Earth.
Yeah. Earth, yeah, the Earth Angels.
Yeah, Earth Angels.
That's a 50 song, isn't it? Earth Angel. Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
So just it's all show me the money and try not to get sued. But it is funny that the Orioles card, caused the subject to come up because the actual mascot card on there, all the other mascots have a little note mascot above the name,
mhm.
and then it has the name, and then it has the team. But it, Topps left off the mascot signature above the mascot's name because otherwise you're either going to have mascot Baltimore Orioles mascot or uh, mascot Baltimore Orioles. So
Yes.
no matter how they were going to get around it, they're going to have mascot on the card twice. So I think they just left it off, but which means this card looks slightly different than all the other mascot cards. But it's a mascot card. Can't go crazy over a mascot card.
That's why we collect, to go crazy.
Exactly.
So, onto the new release calendar. These are releases for the end of March and April. Baseball, we are getting some Topps and Panini. April 1st, April Fool's Day, we'll get 2015 Panini USA Stars and Stripes Baseball. So, like an amateur, USA Olympics set. April 15th is the next major Topps release, which is Gypsy Queen, which I think you're a big fan of, right? You like the Gypsy Queen?
I'm a big fan of 2011 Gypsy Queen. The rest of it
Oh.
can all go into the garbage.
Oh, okay. Never mind. April 29th, we get 2015 Bowman Baseball. And sometime in April, we mentioned previously that we'll get 2015 Panini Diamond Kings Baseball. Basketball, March 25th, 2014-2015 Panini Select Basketball will be
And
released.
I saw some of last year's Panini Select, and it's kind of like a Prism Chrome type of product. It looked really good. So
In football, we get March 25th, 2014 Topps 5-Star Football. I wonder, as far as that goes, I wonder if that's Topps Tribute sticker set that maybe might have trouble. Who knows? We'll see if it crosses over sports. I don't know. It's the same sort of thing, high-end stuff that sometimes has stickers. And that's my own. I have no no actual evidence of that. My own little theory that I have. April 1st, we find 2015 Upper Deck Football. Okay, soccer. They have a release, or footy ball. March 25th, we've got 2015 Topps MLS Soccer.
Yep, and I checked the checklist. There's no Thierry Henry card in the set, so I'm not interested.
Okay.
2015 MLS. Interesting on the list. There's Bundesliga Chrome set, which I didn't even know Topps had a Bundesliga license, and that's basically the German Premier League.
Yeah.
Which is quite popular. I'm guessing that's only available in Europe, but I had no idea Topps had a Bundesliga license.
As far as non-sports cards go, we've got quite a few releases. Last week, I believe, the 2015 Topps Garbage Pail Kids Series 1 came out. March 25th, we'll see a Buffy the Vampire Ultimate Collector's set come out.
Yeah,
That's from Rittenhouse.
I had to sneak this one in because this is basically a high-end sticker box set. There are 9 Buffy the Vampire Slayer stickers, and they're kind of in the old 70s style top stickers, with the portrait of the person with the outline around it and their stickers, and Sarah Michelle Gellar autograph in every box. So 10 cards per box. The first set with a Sarah Michelle Gellar autograph, and it's a high-end sticker set. So I just wanted everyone to know that yes, there indeed exists a high-end sticker set.
I know, if there's something that screams Kickstarter, it should be high-end sticker set.
Yes. That's basically an autograph that you're buying with a few stickers thrown in for good measure.
On April 8th, Rittenhouse gives us Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1. April 8th, the 2015 Panini Americana. It's been quite a few years since I've done anything with Americana, so I don't know if that's sort of the same sort of thing that they've been doing.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've never really gotten into Americana either, but I know quite a few people who love that set. So I guess it's basically Panini's version of American Pie or Goodwin Champions. So good.
Yeah,
good for them.
The base set is always like underwhelming to me, but I love the relics. I love they do these great movie poster cards. From
that's a great set for relics. I've snagged a few here and there. Johnny Weissmuller is probably the best Americana that I've pulled. Good old Tarzan.
And April 29th, 2015 Rittenhouse Game of Thrones Season 4, just in time for a new Game of Thrones season. Sometime in March or April, I don't have exact dates, Upper Deck is going to give us an Age of Ultron set, probably similar to the Guardians of the Galaxy set from last year. And Panini will grace us with Frozen Enchantment Moment stickers. So if you can't afford Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you can at least get some Frozen.
There you go.
Okay, so on to
I bet
Q&A.
you Elsa could kill a couple vampires.
Yeah, I bet you're right. Yeah, Buffy the Vampire Frozen crossover. Sounds like a fan fiction you could write.
There you go.
On to Q&A. First up, we have Stale Gum. Are you guys ever going to do another podcast?
I don't think so.
Yes. At least one more.
Maybe.
Is the plan to be Scooby-Doo 79? Is the plan to be a bi-monthly podcast? That's what we talked about this. Bi-monthly is a very intriguing term. I mean, does it mean every 2 months? Does it mean twice a month? It's really a mystery. It's an In Search of style mystery on what that means for us.
I would say yes. We are a bi-monthly podcast.
We're a bi-podcast, yes.
Bi-curious.
Yes, we're a bi-curious, yeah. So Thorzul asks, our all-time favorite Garbage Pail Kid. He says his is Mona Loser from Series 2.
And that is a good one.
Who's yours?
My favorite, Atom Bomb is obviously
the ultimate,
is the king of the Garbage Pail Kids. I
The
mean,
Mickey Mantle 52.
yeah, it's original Atom Bomb is the Mickey Mantle 52 Mantle of Garbage Pail Kids. Everyone loves him. I've got a poster of him up on my wall right now. But my favorite, run of the mill, everyday Garbage Pail Kid has to be Alien Ian. I believe that's from Series 3, and that's their Mars Attacks uh, parody. It's got a little garbage pail Ack alien, and he's holding a sexy lady, and there's all kinds of fire and death and destruction in the background, and it's wonderful. And it was actually the background on my phone for a while. But yes, Alien Ian is my official answer, my
Yeah,
final answer.
I find myself, finding more and more Garbage Pail Kids that are, I must own. I as opposed to when I was a kid, I didn't. I mean, I enjoyed them, I guess. My parents didn't let me have too many of them because of the bad influence, of course.
Yeah, my
And
aunt, my aunt Jill, which is basically one of my mom's best friends, she hated them.
yeah,
Hated them so bad. She saw Stone Sean sitting there, parody of Rodin's The Thinker, smoking a cigarette, and she insisted that it was a joint and that these should all be thrown in the fire. And I love them
um,
even more.
yeah. My favorite one is Modern Art, which is a tribute to Van Gogh cutting off his ear,
Yes.
and Rubin Cube, which is a Rubik's cube where the kid's face is all messed up with the shifting cubes. Um, one thing I forgot to talk about or bring up when we were talking about opening tops and opening day and heritage and all that. Do you think that Derek Jeter should have had the number 2 card rather than number 1?
Eh, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I mean,
Okay, more
uh,
importantly, does it bug you that Mickey Mantle has card number 7?
no, it bugs me that Topps didn't renew the license and we have a hole in our sets. But the last time that happened, they did an insert set where they reprinted fake number sevens. So
Yeah.
hopefully they'll get that license back in a few years, and we'll get another insert set of 2020, 2012, 2013, 2014, all the missing number sevens. Because I honestly I've put them in my sets.
Oh yeah.
I've finally tracked down I think all of those inserts, and I just put them in my set. So as long as they do another one of those, I'm fine with it.
Okay. Scooby Doo 79 asks us again. And on a more serious note, can you guys talk about the Star Wars Card Trader app? Other than there's no Android support.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have an Android, so
Yeah.
I don't know much more about the Star Wars app than from what I've seen people do on Twitter. Uh, but it
Yeah.
looks
Well.
like it looks like the same concept as Topps Bunt or Topps Kick or whatever the Topps football one is. Kick? No, wait, Kick's one of them. I don't know. There's a soccer, there's a football, and there's a
Yeah.
baseball app, and this looks like just the Star Wars license for that, where you
Mm-hmm.
can buy packages with imaginary coins and you know try to collect a complete set or trade with your friends or whatever. Um, it looks like it's fun. I tried the soccer app for about a week and uh, kind of gave up on it because after the first few days of getting cheap packs with lots of cards, the packs get really expensive with very few cards. It's to make you buy coins as an in-app purchase, and I wasn't interested in that, so I kind of gave up. Um, but it's if you like that online collectible card game, then hey, go for it.
Yeah, well, you have an Android. I have a freaking Windows phone, so I am never going to get
Oh
any of these
no.
products. So, as a person who enjoys digital comics, I mean, I can sort of get behind the idea of owning, a piece of the a digital card, I guess, something that doesn't tangibly exist. I I I mean, I love Star Wars. I would love to do it for free. I'm not gonna pay money for, you know, a card that's just floating in the ether. I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
And there's a lot of people who treat it like a game or like a
yeah.
fantasy game, because the sports ones have a fantasy aspect to them, like a fantasy league where you can
Yeah.
get points
Hmm.
for certain stats. But I think with the Star Wars, it's just mainly collecting. And if you like playing those types of Android or those phone games or app games or whatever, and if you don't mind spending the money on it, um, then hey, go for it. If you enjoy that sort of thing, I mean, I guess it's not a whole lot more different than buying a Xbox game or a PS4 game for $70 or whatever.
Hmm.
So if you have the money and you enjoy it, go for it. If you don't. But I mean, it looks fun. I'd like to, when it does finally hit Android, I'm probably going to
Yeah.
download it.
Um, I mean, some of the designs are neat. I would love to own a card that looks like that.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. It looks fun. I,
yeah.
I, I don't know.
It looks fun, and I remember you could. I either screenshotted or I saved the image to my phone. I don't remember how I did it, but you know, even if you can't download the image, you can certainly do screenshots. So
Yeah.
yeah, now you have a little file that
Yeah.
you can save on your computer.
Okay, next question from this is at King's Cards. What is the key to dime box hunting?
Well, it's really the same thing as bargain hunting anywhere. You first have to have the knowledge for what's a good buy, what you want to collect, what you like, and what all these dang cards are. You need to do your homework. You need to have the preparation. If you're looking to build a set, you need to have your checklists. If you're looking to find bargains and get those high dollar cards out of the cheap dime and quarter boxes, then you got to do your homework and you got to know what every card looks like and what's an insert and what's not an insert and what's a variation, and you just got to do your homework and know what you're doing. And then finally you have to have the patience to just go to all these card shows, dig through boxes, looking for what you want to find. That's the main thing. And a lot of times you'll go to a dime box and there'll be nothing at all. Other times you'll find a dime box and it's absolutely filled with gold. So just gotta have that patience. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. It's like flea marketing or garage sailing or thrift shopping. You know, sometimes you'll find something good. A lot of times you'll strike out. And Grits from Project 1962 actually had the best answer, which is a strong back.
Hmm.
Because after you've been standing around at a card show for 5 hours looking through every box, your back's going to hurt. So, knowledge,
Yeah,
preparation, patience, but do your exercise, kids, and have that strong back.
I
So
would
you can,
say definitely get a chair.
yeah,
And
cheers help.
there's definitely an etiquette though to a dime box searching. Um, there's don't be that person who's got their want list spread across another box. You're sitting, sit in front of the box that you're sort of sorting through.
Yes.
Um, keep it organized, and you gotta get the quick hand technique of flipping through those cards as quickly as you can to get through the crap, to get to find those hidden gems.
Yeah, etiquette is important because you don't want to start poaching cards out of the box the other guys standing next to you is looking through. Might start a fight or a riot.
Okay, Dave asks, whatever happened to that feature on 1955 Topps cards, or cards in general? What did happen to that, Dave?
Yeah, what happened to that? We were supposed to have a big feature about all the cards from 1955. And here's what happened. I goofed. I had a notebook that I had like 3 or 4 pages worth of notes on that feature that was supposed to be talked about in this podcast, and then I misplaced the notebook because I am unorganized and kind of idiotic. So this morning, actually, I found the notebook just in time for this podcast, and I had to make a choice. Do I go forward with a half-assed feature, or do I save it till next time? And looking at my recording app here, we are just at about 2 hours, so I'm going to save it till next time and do it right. So look for some 55 cards in the next podcast, and I've already started on the 65 once I couldn't find my notes for 55. So yeah, you'll see that next time.
Okay, we're gonna hold you to that. Yeah, 2 hours. That's a healthy podcast right there.
That's a good plan. That'll get you through a couple of monster boxes.
Yes, right. As you're sorting, right. Okay. So as always, you can listen to the podcast. We have it, available to download on our Libsyn page, iTunes, Stitcher. We have a Facebook group that we update episodes with. Let's see here. Although we didn't actually publish an episode in February, February was our most downloaded month. So thank you for continuing on. I mean, we've given you a lot of content. This goes on for many hours, of course. So thank you for maybe catching up. We gave you some time to catch up on all the past episodes. Yeah, until next time. I feel like we should have something like Happy Collected, like Bob Ross or something.
And that's the rest of the story.
That's the way it was.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, so until next time.